Good day, beautiful people. We're going to have a little coffee jam and some healing music for our little Ruby that was feeling sick last night. So, enjoy. Thanks for joining. I'm going insane. I'm going insane. Oh yes I am. I'm going insane. 'Cause I don't really care anything about you. 'Cause I don't really care anything about what you do to me. I'm just trying to survive. 'Cause I'm just trying to run and hide away. 'Cause I'm going insane. 'Cause I'm going insane. That song is called Going Insane. It's by a friend of mine named Regan Perry. He lives in New Zealand. I'll find a link and I'll chuck it down below. You know, this world is going insane, as you can see, and when I look at the craziness that's happening, like with the Balenciaga and with Disney and with all of these people being outed, these huge banks being caught up in that list of people that are not so good to children, I see this as the Great Judgment. And now I see Bud Light joining in and putting Dylan Mulvaney on their can and going straight woke, when they know that when you go woke, you go broke. That makes no sense, does it? Well, maybe it does make a little sense. The theory I have is that the devil himself, or someone trying to act as a devil to burn this place to the ground before they go under through this judgment, is saying, I'll protect you. You can join our team. I got all these lawyers. I got all this money to protect you, but you have to go woke. You have to start indoctrinating children. You have to jump straight in. And the guy in Bud Light goes, "That'll destroy my company." Well, so will the truth that comes out in these documents, will it not? So this is what's happening, is all the darkness is coming together and admitting that they're darkness, but they're like, we don't care, we're going to take over this world, even telling you that we're dark. And they're coming together as one body of Satan. And that's all I can see. And when we look at these situations and all of these ginormous companies that are literally cutting their own throat by going woke, you have to understand is, what is the other option? What happened if they say, no, I'm not going to? They would be outed right away. This is the game. All these names are starting to come out. This list that nobody has seen yet of the, guy with his island, that stuff's all come out in certain ways, and now they're trying to put themselves in little gangs to deal with this great judgment. So let's see it. We'll see what else comes out in the world, but we may never see people in courtrooms, because these people will probably just shoot off in their rockets off to some hidden land or some underground bunkers to hide from their judgment. However, this is the end of their reign. That's what we have to see. We just have to mitigate their evil in the meantime, as they're trying to burn this place to the ground and trying to indoctrinate and get into these little children's heads so we have trauma going into the future. Well, that's why I'm always trying to speak now. I will speak all the time. And many times I'm going to be wrong, and that's why I ask anybody that's listening and thinks that I have a different idea or something to add to my theory, please put it down in the description below. Or you can email me. I always have the email down in the description also. So right now I think we do have to just find the light, find the body of Christ and come together. Because they're coming together in the body of Satan, as you can see. They're proudly coming together in the body of Satan, outwardly telling us how they are harming children, and they are still running. That just shows you what this world is. And this world, I'm talking about the Matrix, all the stories you've been told, all the things that have built our lives, all this, the batteries in our cell phones, all these things, we are a part of that evil, and we need to go back and realize what is really important. And as far as what we can do is, when I look at all this stuff and these giant billion-dollar companies and all these huge companies that really, they own this world. We have to come together on the ground. We have to have our communities come together and our families come together so we can come together in the body of Christ to fight this evil force. Because the only place we can fight it is face to face with the ideologies that are placed there by these demons. By Disney, by Hollywood, by all of these companies that have infiltrated these people's minds. Our war is a war of ideas. Our war is a civil war of ideas. It's in our communities that are allowing these dark people to continue to run this world. But like I've said in many other videos, is all the light workers and all the wisest people are on our side. God is on our side. The thing is, there is lots of fallen angels and fallen ones on this earth that run this planet with evil. But now there is many, many ascended new angels that are gaining up in the fight. At least 144,000, I would say, of ascended angels that are fighting against these fallen ones. Sure, the ascended angels don't have a lot of power in this world, because if they had power, they would not be ascended, because anybody that gained power in this world would have used it for some kind of good and would have infiltrated. And that's why, to me, you have to be a certain amount of evil to be able to gain any amount of this world. To try to show me a millionaire and ask them how they became a millionaire and what kind of cognitive dissonance and ignorance they had to have for their common man so that they could gain that wealth. I wish that we lived in a world where there could be millionaires that are benevolent. And maybe there is in some countries, but in the West, I don't see it. With the amount of people that are suffering here on the ground, if you just went and walked down Baker Street here in town or in Vancouver and you saw how people were suffering, you had millions in your accounts, and you continued to have millions in your accounts and continued to watch people suffer, that's ignorance, and ignorance is wickedness. And rich people are very intelligent, so they have to be extra ignorant so they can continue doing their evil. I do believe, though, we are going into a new world where we're going to have benevolent capitalists come into play. And in a way, these are kind of like having benevolent kings, because the capitalists are the kings of this world. And right now, all these ginormous companies that are running this world are malevolent dictators. The capitalists are the dictators. And that's because we live in cartelism and nepotism. It's because we live in a world that they'll never let any righteous or virtuous person rise up into any kind of power, because then that would be against their darkness. And ever since the internet's been around, that has been even more cartelish and more... ever since the internet's been around, there's been more cartelism and nepotism and knowledge of who a person is, because they know a person by what you watch, what you say, all of that stuff. They're not going to let righteous and virtuous people into any power. That even those that believe they're righteous and virtuous, they're sitting there with resentments and all these deep things that they cannot wait to use for their ignorance. We will go into a world where there will be benevolent kings. It's coming. Benevolent queens. It is coming. All of these dark things are happening closer and closer together. You can almost make a mathematical equation on how fast this is going to have to come to an end before things get so dark that we won't even be able to see a foot in front of our face. It's always the darkest before the dawn. Thank you all so much for joining me, and thank you all out there. Thank you, all of you out there that are fighting the war right now, speaking the truth right now, that is winning the war of ideology. The war of ideas is fought right in your own communities, in your own families, with your own friends. Just people walking down the street, just speak right now. We are all a part of the change that can lead us to the light that's coming. And remember, this may not be the apocalypse. This may be another escape from Egypt. And a lot of people are going to leave Egypt and walk in the desert for 40 years, which means finding new ways to develop our new society. It's not going to be easy. In a way, I feel like I'm already in the desert, considering the government's already taken away my ability to survive in the Babylon. And I will not go and right into their game again. So, some people, a lot of us will walk in the desert. Remember, Egypt kept going after the Israelites went out into the desert. But nobody knows what story continued on there because it slowly came to an end. Well, do you want to be in that Babylon spaceship when it crashes, or do you want to be out building a new way before it crashes? Well, I'd rather do the latter than the former, and that's why I'm trying to find the people, the community, the family that we can do this. Because we can't do it alone. It takes a community. We are giving up our dependence upon the Babylon, upon the system. But then we have to learn to be dependent on each other. And we have to know who we can be dependent upon, because some people it's not good to be dependent upon. And that's why there is pathological independence, and then there is good independence. What we really do need to understand is we can't do it all ourselves. All the different people in our community have different strengths and powers that can come together as one and help each other live better lives. So I know there's a lot of you that think the same way, and please, if you have any other cool ideas, please share down below or give me an email. And I love you all, and God bless.